The Spanish Announce Table.
It is episode 426 of the Spanish Announce Table. We had a great AEW Dynamite last night. Speaking of AEW Dynamite, Tom, over there, Tom, and I, Tim, will be going live in person to AEW Dynamite next week in Kansas City.
In Independence, Missouri.
Right.
Put some respect on the name. Home of the 33rd president of these United States of America, Harry S. Truman. What does the S stand for? Fucking nothing. Because the parents said, you pick the middle name. And he said, you know what? I don't want one. So it was S the entire time of his life. I ran a faster 40 than him. Guess what we're also doing next week? Well, it's me, not you. I'm going back to my high school, into my high school gym, and I'm going to fucking dunk on Big Show, Satnam Singh. I'm going to cross up Kenny Omega. You young ass boys, you're going to fucking get this work too. Ooh, when a 37-year-old motherfucker that won the first game in that gym comes in and fucking takes you out, what the fuck you going to do? I'm going to play him. I'm not playing him for money either. You know what I'm going to do? I'm playing him for a job. I'm going to say, I got a fucking storyline for Luchasaurus. I fucking beat you in whatever competition. I get that fucking storyline.
I get a feeling you're going to try to go up against Big Show and you're going to come back with like bruises that spell out Spalding on your forehead.
Hey, no pain, no gain. I don't give a fuck how, like, I already got a tumor. What else can go wrong? Like, I don't care about my well-being. I care about the glory. What up?
Yeah.
Huh?
Hey, you know.
I'm going to get my ass kicked, but it's going to be fun. I tell you that much. Woo. So Tuesday, Tim?
Does sound fun. Honestly, it does sound fun. Wish I could be at that, but I will be Wednesday night at Dynamite. So if anybody's in the Kansas City metropolitan area or nearby and are going to AEW Dynamite, let us know. We might, acknowledge you from across the room if you prove to us that you subscribe to the channel. Maybe. Possibly.
Hey,
just let us know.
Dude, I've actually got a quick side quest here. I actually have a big couple days of pro wrestling fun coming up. So tomorrow, we're recording this on a Thursday if you're listening later. Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to Independence, and I'm going to meet Sheamus on St. Patrick's Day. Name something better than meeting Sheamus on St. Patrick's Day.
I don't think awesome. You can. That is really cool.
Saturday.
Poor guy's going to have to hear so many jokes.
Saturday, I'm meeting Kevin fucking Nash.
Nice.
And then
Kevin
Tuesday.
Nash is one of my all-time favorites. I was reminded of Kevin Nash when the wife and I were watching the latest Magic Mike movie.
He was in it.
And Kevin Nash is in it. And before that, my wife was like, did we ever see all the Magic Mike movies, right? So she was like, there was one on Netflix. She was like, let's watch that one, right? Why not? Whoa, man, why shouldn't we watch this too? So we watched that. And I was just like, the whole time I was like, by the way, this guy's not acting. I was like, this is Kevin Nash, and this is all we've known him to be. That's going to be super fun. He's got to be super awesome.
And then Tuesday, I'm crossing up Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Wednesday, we're going to Dynamite. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Tell you what.
So
I'm from that and one generation. I'm going to put the fucking ball in my shirt and hit it around.
You're like the professor.
Oh, yeah. Hot sauce. I'm half man, half amazing. What's up? Huh?
Always ready like lunch meat.
Come on.
That's getting you super excited, and I'm excited to see you get that excited. What else is exciting to me right now is what's going on in the chat right now. So if you are listening back to the podcast later and you hear me talking about the chat and you don't know what I'm talking about, now you're about to get informed. We do this live on YouTube each week. You can watch us, you can interact with us and the other folks watching us live through the YouTube chat. And right now we got Jeffrey Sills who says, shout out them boys. Tim and Tom can't wait to talk about this Dynamite. And we will be talking about Dynamite. We got Theo P giving us thumbs up, asking if we're getting snowed in. It is snowing right now. I don't like that at all.
It is?
It's snowing like crazy out where I live, at least. By the way, this is a fun fact. Tom and I are both broadcasting to you live from Kansas City, but we are not in the same city, nor are we in the same state. Yeah, and then Adam Pearson is in the chat.
The legend.
The superstar, the famous celebrity, Adam Pearson. It boggles my mind every time I see him. I'm like, I know somebody famous right?
Mhm.
Like, how fun is that?
He's awesome.
He has a Spanish announce table shirt, by the way. So if you want to be cool like a celebrity, you should get a Spanish announce table shirt at Pro Wrestling Tees.
Actually, Adam, I'm going to make one request though. You've got the old school, the ones that Tim couldn't mail out on time. You got that Spanish announce table T-shirt.
Accusations.
False. I know there ain't false. But Adam, we have a Pro Wrestling Tees store. Search Spanish announce table. You can get yourself a one of those soft good.
Yeah, much
Spanish
better quality. You have some choices in there. You can get a tank top, I believe. I thought I saw, like you were saying, Tom. It's in the choice of like T-shirt, like, type. Yeah, do that. And folks, keep joining the chat, talking to each other, talking to us. We love that. And Tom, we're gonna go to Dynamite next week. And by the way, I think Tom's gonna do the show solo the day after because I'm gonna be out of town. I'm going to be closer to Jeffrey Sills, who says he's down there in South Florida, but not close enough, I don't think, to make anything happen there. I'll be up in North Florida for a couple days. So, Tom, maybe that'll be our highest listenership. When folks know I'm not around, they can just get straight to the quality.
Look, if we go back to the history of this show, we know of the two who they don't like. Okay, like that's not a.
I've made some enemies along my podcasting way.
I had someone threaten to fucking drive a semi truck into my butthole. Okay, so
Adam Pearson in the chat says, "Why would I get a tank top? I love my girlfriend." Okay, all right.
More reason.
Get
your girl a tank top, huh?
Show up the guns.
Hey, it's unisex. Get your girl a tank top.
Yep.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Jeffrey Sills will be in the Pensacola area. Yeah. He's asking.
Pensacola.
Coca-Cola. Be down there for a brief blip in time, seeing some family, and then I'll be skirting back out. Maybe catching K-State if they're still playing basketball. Might be having to watch them at some sort of establishment because the NCAA March Madness is underway, and that makes me happy. I'm excited. But pro wrestling is also happening right now. And AEW Dynamite last night. God, wasn't that fun? I had a blast watching it last night. What did you think?
Well, so, Tim, you're going to Florida, and I have to ask, are you going to a re-bar mitzvah?
I am not going to a re-bar mitzvah.
Well, last night we got to see.
If we can make it one.
Yeah, last night we got to see a re-bar mitzvah as it kicked off AEW Dynamite. So here we go with the rundown. As mentioned, we get MJF walking out with ladies on his arm. He does his standard, that girl goes by, that girl goes by, that girl goes by. This one gets made out with. Now, peeking behind the curtain, last time he did that was with his current girlfriend, future fiance, apparently, whether it's a shoot or not, they broke up, and now he's making out with this girl. So who knows about the dirt sheets, whether that is his actual girlfriend. We don't care, but I'm just saying that's how it was last time. So we'll see how it is this time. But he makes his way into the ring. He is, to the best of my knowledge, which he said, and I'm going to believe because it doesn't feel like he would lie about the religion. He was authentic in his presentation at a bar mitzvah with the headwear. And then apparently he had some like decorations on his arms. I saw that like before the show started, he did a type of thing like that. So he was authentic as possible for a bar mitzvah, but this was a re-bar mitzvah because now he says, as a bar mitzvah goes, when you turn 13, you get a bar mitzvah because you're turning into a man. Well, now that he beat Bryan Danielson, he's doing a re-bar mitzvah because now he is Iron Man, right? And that's fun.
Yeah.
We get everything fun here. Talks about how Shawn Michaels is better than Bret Hart, which is a fact.
It's true.
He talks about how his religion's the best, up for debate, I guess. And then he says nothing because Jungle Boy walks out. And here is, the best of my knowledge, the first time we get a WWE trope in AEW where Jungle Boy walks out. And he says, I got a microphone. Here's my first words. And Sammy Guevara walks out. And Sammy Guevara grabs the microphone. And he goes, here's my first words. It's and then Darby Allin walks out. And so here, as we're led to believe, the four pillars of AEW are all now sharing a ring at the same time. And long story short, the three of them, Sammy Guevara, Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, in unison say they want a title shot at MJF. Now, each one makes their case. Jungle Boy says that MJF cheated, and so obviously if it's a fair fight, he could beat him. Sammy Guevara says that he was always told to be the bump guy for Chris Jericho. He's better than that, so he can beat MJF. Darby Allin says this is the only place that allows me to be me, so that's why I should be the champ. And then MJF says, you guys all fucking suck. So what'd you think about the Four Pillars promo?
I liked how fun this was, right? I like the jabs that they're throwing at each other. I think, they're having fun doing this, and like I get it. And I liked it with the caveat of it felt a little all over the place at times, right? So Jungle Boy, he's saying, hey, I'm breaking the fourth wall, right? You don't have to be on Elevation. You don't have to be on Dark. I've been coming up through the whatever. And it was like, okay. All right, so we're not kayfabe in this storyline, right? And then Sammy Guevara comes out, and he felt out of place even later when Darby Allin comes out, because at least Darby Allin and Jungle Boy have had these kind of big moments as single stars, recent wins and feuds. And then Sammy Guevara felt a little out of place there. I mean, I get it because it's the Four Pillars and we're doing that, but he kind of goes weirdly a bit, it's not off script, but it was just off character, right? He's kind of shitting on the idea that he had to be with Jericho and I'm Jericho's fall guy. Oh, but I'm still in that Jericho group. And by the way, fuck all of y'all, right? Like it was just, it felt a little off, but as a standalone, if you're like, oh, the Four Pillars are here and here it is. Like if you don't know a lot of these backstories, I think it was like an A+ moment. To me, I wish we would have found a little better ways to tie those in, but hey, it's a 2-hour show. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I think it was fun because there was that weaving in and out of breaking kayfabe. Because, for example, like Darby Allin, he talked about how, hey, this promotion is the best promotion because it allows someone like me to be authentically me, which is kind of breaking character, right? You're saying what I'm portraying is actually not a character. It is who I am. But then he goes back into kayfabe where he says, and I can beat you with a side headlock takedown or whatever that was, right? And that was their past storyline where MJF said he could beat him in that manner. He hits him with the diamond ring and then does so. So then we go back into the storyline. Same with Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy talks about all the trials and tribulations of going through things that MJF didn't have to do because he was pushed in a certain way, which Jungle Boy didn't get that opportunity. But then he goes back into the storyline of saying, but the last time we fought, you cheated, which is like, obviously, you know what I mean? That's going to kayfabe. I agree with you to a certain extent, which it puts him in a hard position because Sammy Guevara is the heel. So it's hard for him to, on a dime, just go, hey guys, believe in me. I'm a hardworking AEW original. And it's like, yeah, but we kind of fucking hate you. Remember that part? Right. So their thing was fun. I will say Sammy Guevara did get one up on MJF, I think, on the retort from MJF where he says, oh, it's Sammy. I'm going to propose to another girl in 7 months, Guevara. And then he goes, well, didn't you get dumped from your fiance? And I was like, God damn, MJF, that sucks. Now, here's the thing that I want your opinion on. So I personally love the MJF promos. I mean, it's always a highlight. There's some morsel of truth that gets me interested, or there's a one-liner that I end up, messaging you saying, what the fuck was that? Right? Something like that. However, starting to hear a theme from a Ricky Starks, from a Jungle Boy, from a Darby Allin, from an Eddie Kingston, from a Britt Baker that says, hey, we're fucking tired of every episode 20 minutes is MJF story time where he gets to tell us some fucking weird thing from his childhood. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm not tired of those yet, and those entertain me more than a lot of the names you said on a very consistent basis. Now, is that because they're not getting the same TV time? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. Certainly the Baker and the Eddie Kingston, I think, could match those kind of promos. But like, hey, look, man, I think he's one of the best heels going in the business, period. So I feel like you would be giving him a lot of TV time for storytelling purposes wherever he goes. So
yes, I agree.
Yeah.
The thing that I will say in the kind of consistent criticism you're hearing from his colleagues, other wrestlers, that I somewhat do agree with is as great as his promos are, and they're fucking awesome. Like I said, each week there's something that I remember, right? Whether it's pulling the girl into the driver's seat because he didn't want to get in trouble, or it's the origin story of how CM Punk broke his heart, all of this stuff. But I will say there's kind of a formula, right?
Yeah.
We're getting this formula of MJF says, you think you're more fill in the blank than me, vicious, more of a wrestler, more of a wrestling fan, love this business, whatever that is. And then it's, you've got to go through all of this to get to me. And it's like Wardlow did that. CM Punk did that. Bryan Danielson did that. Chris Jericho had to do it. So that would be my criticism is I'm not necessarily tired of the 20 minutes every time we're going to get an MJF promo, but I will say, if you're going to give me 20 minutes, let's remix how we're saying this story.
What I do like about this is it's not that, right? We're just going to get this potentially, I'm going to guess here, Fatal 4-Way, right? For whatever, right?
I don't know what we're going to get out of this. That's a good question. What do you think happens?
If we got a standalone Fatal 4-Way at the next big thing, and because I feel like, again, I don't think any one of these guys are taking the title off of MJF. I don't think that fits in any storyline we're telling right now. But a good way to stall until we've got the next thing for him to be telling in a story is this, right? This little side quest of the pillars all are like, hey, we're the pillars. If you got that shot, like, let's show, like, we're just as good as you, right? We get to prove it. So now it's this big Fatal 4-Way, and he finds some way to cheat or smooth through that, and maybe we get the next turn in the character there.
Well, one thing that, yeah, and I think Jeffrey Stills is onto something here in the chat where he says, this segment was so good, let's revisit this in a few years. And I think what you could do is that, right? Whatever the next AEW St. Patrick's Day Slam or whatever the next big event is. It couldn't be that because that's next week. But you get what I'm saying? Whatever that next big event is.
Yeah.
Not pay-per-view. I think you got to do it on a special event, right?
Yeah.
The
Road Ragers or the
Road Ragers, Spring Break, all that stuff.
Winter
but if
is
you
coming.
if you do the 4-way match on one of those shows, most likely I agree with you. MJF will come out on top, right?
Yeah.
But then, assuming you can re-sign everyone, 2026, 2027, we say, hey, remember what we did in 2023? That would be cool.
That is the caveat of the sort of the pillars, right? If we've got to keep them all there to kind of keep making this a theme every few years. Unless you work that into it somehow. If one of them leaves, then, they can reference the lost member or whatever.
Yeah. And you know what I will say about this, temptation to leave in the bidding war of 2024 as we do a quick side quest here. Of the 4, Sammy Guevara is the only WWE guy I see. Jungle Boy, I think, is a little bit too small, and I don't think even a Triple H will say this young kid, if he went in 2024, that's what I'm using as not 2026, like next year. I think he'd say Jungle Boy's a little bit too small, has the look, has everything, but he'll probably be more of like the what they are trying to do with Angel Garza for a second. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of role, hopefully successful, but you get what I'm saying? Darby Allin, I think they would just bastardize like The Fiend and Bray Wyatt. I think it would just become a caricature of a spooky emo kid
that they never know what to do with.
Right.
Well,
MJF.
I don't think he knows what to do with it either, but Darby's different than that.
MJF, I think, although, yes, I would say of the 4, he's the most over. He is the strongest of the 4 pillars. But I would say this, he can't do 70 to 80% of what he's doing in AEW and WWE. Correct. He can't tell the audience to fuck off or, hey, Texas, you guys all suck. You should have been abortions or say son of a, like he can't do that in WWE. So if he goes over to WWE, he then just becomes watered down Miz, right? Sammy Guevara though can do all the flips and shit, has the look, and then he's a Mexican star, which they're trying to build that next Mexican star. Fucking put him in there with Dominic Mysterio in the summer of 2024. You got a program for 6 months. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think of the 4, he's the most vulnerable to leave because I think he's the most WWE finished product.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. All right, so the segment ends with MJF getting knocked off the apron and goes into his own cake, which we missed because someone isn't a good producer. That's a broken record. You know that from me, but it sucked.
Taz, however, was so fun during this. All of the commentators were, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but like Taz and Tony Schiavone's like relationship, and then the way Excalibur still fits in that, like, right? You know what I mean? He's not just completely this straightforward guy who never gets into the mix. Like, he's got some jokes too, but it was just that whole segment was fun. Talking about the big, beautiful, fluffy hat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just all of that. All of it was fun.
Oh, and I forgot to touch on this, but this I thought was pretty interesting. So MJF starts the promo off as he walked down the ring with the women with sunglasses on, and he starts to cut his promo with sunglasses on. And then he takes those fucking sunglasses off, and goddamn,
I know, like they
those
were all
eyes.
like, "Yeah, no, dude, put that stop."
Well, no shit. Yeah, I mean, those eyes were blasted, man. I mean, that was some legit
was in a fight.
trauma to the face.
He was in a fight.
God dang, man. I tell you what. Now, I read why it's that way. It's because if you recall in the post-media scrum or whatever they're calling it, post-event scrum, he had that knot in his head, and that knot in his head moved down, and so it moved into his eyes, and so that's where the black eyes come from. But still, that shit's gotta fucking hurt. I tell you that much. Yeah, okay, so we get that, and then we move on. We go backstage really quick. Chris Jericho gets a street named after him. Cool. It's probably a dead end.
He got a street honorarily named after him, right? Like, that's what I took it as. Like, they didn't even actually rename the street. They'll just put up another sign that says like honorary Chris Jericho Way.
I tell you what, those Canadians, who knows what they do up there, right? It's a mystery. But we go back into the ring and we get a trios match.
Yes.
We get Hangman Adam Page, Dark Order consisting of Evil Uno and Canadian's own Stu Grayson taking on the Blackpool Combat Club of Claudio Moxley and Yuta. And so if there was any doubt going into this match is, I wonder if the Blackpool Combat Club, are they heels or are they just like tweeners? Nope, they're full fucking heels. They proved it in this match. They did every undercut thing you can do, and the match ends because Yuta takes, what was it? It wasn't a chair. It was like some blunt object. Yeah, it was pipe. That's what it was. Pipe to Hangman's face. He's knocked out. Then they go 3-on-2 on the rest of the guys. And then they get the pinfall on, I believe, Stu Grayson. I think Stu Grayson tapped out, right? Let me see my notes here.
Yeah, I believe so. And then they were like working him over after that.
Yeah. John Moxley got the body scissors and then rear naked choke on Stu Grayson. Wouldn't let go. And then that brought the Johnny Hungy and Reynolds down, and they're going back and forth, and then Blackpool Combat Club, middle fingers, they're out of here. They leave through the crowd, which I thought was a good touch. Fuck the backstage. We're going out the way we want. But what did you think of the trios match?
They left. When they left, I thought that exactly the same thing you brought up at the start of this was, well, we just erased everything about the doubt of what Blackpool Combat Club is now, right? Like, we're not cheering for this anymore, which is interesting because everybody loves Moxley in an AEW crowd. So I get the feeling like, yeah, they're going to be heels, but it's going to be an interesting take on it. I think people are going to be behind them, and that'll be interesting because, yeah, they just were out to just – they were the Fight Club, man. They were like, I don't care, right? We're bloodying somebody up, hit them with whatever. You fucking give them a Kansas City cunt punt. Let's go. Let's fight. And that's what they are now. Now, this whole Dark Order thing with the Hangman is where it really gets interesting.
And we'll put a pin in that because we come back to it later on in the show, which we'll get to. The one thing that I will say is kudos to the writing team, whether that's just Tony Khan or a group of people or whatever, but they're consistent with the characters. And what I mean by that is if you're checking out Ring of Honor, the Thursday night television show, Claudio's over there. Again, he's the Ring of Honor heavyweight champion. And Eddie Kingston's calling him out. And he's, pulling on his cape saying, I want to fight you, Claudio. And Claudio is just giving him the cold shoulder, saying Eddie is beneath him. He doesn't bring honor to wrestling and all of that. So I will say credit to them for at least being consistent with their characters, where Claudio isn't the stereotypical Cesaro babyface in Ring of Honor. And then when he comes over to AEW, he's dastardly Blackpool Combat Club. Like they're being the same person in both promotions. So I do like that.
Yeah. Jeffrey Sills in the chat says Blackpool Combat Club as heels makes me wish Regal was back. That is true, right? Wish we still would have had Regal around for this iteration of the Blackpool Combat Club. But it works, right? Just this group united in just wanting to fuck your shit up, I think works pretty well.
The only thing, Regal coming back would be fine. And I bet you there would be some cool promos and some backstage videos that I would pop for and be like, yeah, that's the fucking shit I like, right? To me, no offense to Regal, but he's not a needle mover. I don't, got to see the segment that Regal's in. He's fine. He's fine, right?
Yeah, he would deliver great stuff there, but as you're saying, I don't think it wouldn't put this storyline wildly different. I think.
Exactly.
Right.
The thing that I think the Blackpool Combat Club need to address sooner rather than later is Bryan Danielson. I just don't understand for the last 6 months, what the fuck are we doing? Because
he went home.
I don't know. Well, I'm talking even before that. When Moxley lost the title to MJF, Danielson and Claudio and Yuta went down to console him and say like, hey, Regal fucking gave him the ring, right? So it's like he's still adjacent to him. But then ever since Danielson started with MJF, it's like, nope, they're not even fucking friends because Danielson gets jumped. They don't come to help. Vice versa. Blackpool Combat Club fights Dark Order.
You know what you can do is just if he's gone for a bit, if we're peeking behind the curtain, we don't know that he is, have him be out for a while, right? Have Blackpool Combat Club running amok, causing so much chaos and trouble, and then he comes back like, what in the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, this ain't it. Like, true combat's in the ring, you motherfuckers. Like, you know what I mean? Without all the bullshit. Then they have this little kind of battle of the powers that be of Moxley and Danielson.
Well, I got an idea. I'm writing it down so I don't forget it. But I got an idea for Danielson.
Oh, he's got an idea for Danielson. So if you've got some ideas for Danielson, hop in the YouTube chat, let us know, or send us a tweet, #tweetTheTable, which we do have one of those that we'll get to later. We'll read those right here live each week. So yeah, man, I enjoy the Blackpool Combat Club in this way, albeit I was leery and still a little leery. And again, we're putting a pin on some of this, but a little leery of this, like, man, is Hangman still embroiled with Moxley and the Blackpool Combat Club? Like, this story ain't over?
Well, yeah, we'll get to that. And I want to save it because I do want to go in chronological order. I don't want to jump out because then it won't make sense for some other things.
Yeah.
So, okay, we get Blackpool Combat Club leaves out the crowd. Then we get a promo package from Juice Robinson. And Juice says, hey, I put your dick in the dirt. Again, I'm paraphrasing. He obviously didn't say that. And then he kind of alludes to, and maybe Ricky Starks does a little bit later as well, maybe Bullet Club is coming to AEW, which earlier in the day was announced on social media. They are doing Forbidden Door 2 up there in the Great North of Canada.
The not forbidden door.
Mm-hmm.
Not
so
forbidden.
Maybe we're building. Yeah.
It's the glory hole. It's the AEW glory hole. We renamed this already.
We did. I forgot. I'm so sorry. Yes. Now maybe that's what we're building to, a Ricky Starks and friends versus the Bullet Club. We'll see how that works. Okay. Then we go into the ring and we get a women's match. It's not the main event.
It is not.
So it's pretty weird that this happened this early.
Not
even before the main event.
Well,
it's in the first hour.
Yeah. It's before the main event, but not before the main event. You know what I'm saying? Fuck.
It's not the co-main event.
Right.
Yeah, it's not the co-main event. But Jade Cargill issued an open challenge to any Canadian, and it was answered by Nicole Matthews.
Yeah.
Round of applause.
Yeah.
And
it's Dana Brooke.
Yeah. And this match lasted probably, me reading this match out was probably longer than the match it took. So Jade Cargill wins. Cool. Post-match, Renee Paquette gets in there and she's like, hey, you're 50, was it 6, 7, whatever. You're 50 something and oh.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. Jade Cargill goes like, is that the best Canada has to offer? Hey, bitch, aren't you Canadian?
Yeah.
Like,
She's backing her up.
And she's like, hey, come on. Like, this isn't, I'll go to WWE, you cunt. Like, I don't want to get fucking beat up, you know? And then side quest. This is where on Twitter, I've talked about it before, but I might talk about it again. I just asked a simple question because after Jade Cargill punts Renee Paquette in the corner, Ty Valkyrie comes out. And I legitimately just said, who's this? Because people were getting, not like it was CM Punk, but they were getting like, yeah. And on social media, it was so happy for Tay Valkyrie. And I was just like, who? And Jesus Christ, Tim, you would have thought I asked, who's my dad? Like, they fucking expect me to know who this blonde lady is. That she's never been in WWE. She hasn't been in AEW. Yeah. So how, she's not in GCW. Yeah. So how the fuck am I going to know?
She had a brief stint in NXT, but the more recent NXT, which I haven't watched and whatever. I knew of Tyra Valkyrie, and I knew of her like standing where like in all the other places, she's kind of one of those levels where she's like main event and nothing else level player in those things. So like I knew who she was, but I honestly have never seen a match, right? So like I knew the name. So I was like, oh, okay. And I'd seen the person, so like I knew who it was. But
neither for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So two things. One is storyline, and then two, I'll just rant about.
Well, you know, we've discussed this several times with AEW, if I'm not jumping the gun on you here, that that sometimes they don't do the greatest job of telling us who these people are, right? When they bring in somebody in through the glory hole, who these people are. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Excalibur gave us a more detailed description of the career of the other person you named that Jade Cargill whooped up on in 20 seconds, treated her like a sack of shit, than he did Taya Valkyrie. Now, I get if it's kayfabe and we're watching, he's going to have notes on the person who's actually in the match versus the person coming in, so I don't want to hit him too much on that. But it's still, that's what I'm left with in a story is like, I know more about what's her name, right? Where she wrestled, what she's done in her career, than this Taya Valkyrie. I just hear you guys going like, "Oh my god," but I don't know what she's bringing. If I only watch AEW.
So the two things, one thing that I don't like, and I get it to a certain extent, but stop saying it, is this position of Jade Cargill has ran through everyone. She hasn't fought Toni Storm. She hasn't fought Britt Baker. She hasn't fought Saraya. She hasn't fought. She did
nobody that's a main eventer. Nobody.
Yeah, she Jamie Hayter. She hasn't fought any. So it's like, stop saying she ran through everyone because that's
she's ran through all the
true.
mid card and undercard.
Right, but like say that, right? Say everyone at my level, I've running laps around.
Yeah, why am I still at this level? Like she should start acting like she doesn't even want the belt anymore, and she's trying to give it back to Tony Khan. He's like, no, you can't do that. Like, and she's like, bitch, you know what I mean? Like you're trying to hold back my paychecks. I need that other title, right? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's kind of the angle that they need to take instead of this. I ran through the division because there's a ton of people you haven't beat.
In the chat, we got Josh Smith, a big, longtime friend of the show. He says she's Joe Mo's old lady, which I think I knew that at some point. John Morrison.
Who's Joe?
John Morrison. And then Jeffrey Sills says she has a match with Brian Cage on Lucha Underground, and she took some serious bumps and hard hits. So there you go. You can check that out if you're unaware.
Yeah. I've never seen Lucha Underground. I mean, I've seen clips, so I'm aware of it, and I know that Ricochet was the babyface and all that, but I don't. Prince
Puma, which I felt like would have been better for him in WWE.
Yeah,
They would have made it like they would have gave him fuzzy gloves and shit, and
I love it.
They would have gave him wrestling boots with claws on them, but he would have sold a lot of merch.
Oh yeah. So here's my second thing. And this, I said it on Twitter and I'm going to say it here. And I think I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again because I feel like the point still needs to be made. This is the only subculture, the only niche, the only fandom where you're expected to know fucking everything all at the time. You know everything everywhere, every second of the day. And it's fucking dumb. I even said this was the example I used on Twitter. Imagine, Tim, we like football, right? Kansas City Chiefs. world champions. They won the Super Bowl. We love the Chiefs.
Yeah.
We love football, right? We love football. We love watching it. We watch it Sunday and Thursday and Monday and sometimes Saturday. And if it's a COVID era, we watch it on Tuesday and Wednesday. Like, we watch football, NFL football. But if you were to ask us, hey, what do you think about that CFL starting quarterback from Edmonton? We wouldn't know what the fuck you're talking about. And that's okay, because people were like, well, yeah, you're a football fan. You're an NFL football fan. Because that's what we watch.
Right.
And so when I say I'm a pro wrestling fan, I say I watch AEW and I'm aware of WWE. I'm still a fucking pro wrestling fan. Just because I don't know that Ty Valkyrie was in the Bullet Club in 2016 or whatever, and I'm making that up. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
so
it's
like,
so dumb.
I don't want to say I'm not impressed, because if you have an extensive amount of knowledge about the independent wrestling scene, I can be impressed with that. But what it doesn't make you, if you have some advanced knowledge and deep knowledge of the independent wrestling scene over the years, blah, 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 it doesn't make you like more of a wrestling fan. Again, there's nothing here measurable to be had for the term like wrestling fandom, right? It's personal to everybody what that means to them, right? So like I get really turned off by the folks who act as though they should be seen in high esteem because they have said extensive knowledge. All it means to me is you got a lot more fucking free time on your hands than I do in my goddamn adult life to be.
Or you don't have that many interests.
And also, I also think your fucking standards are pretty low to watch some of this shit. So, you know.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is like, for everyone, and I'm not trying to pick on Ty Valkyrie.
From what I understand, she's a great talent. From what I understand,
right.
I just haven't seen it.
But here's the thing: when people, and no one in the chat, I'm trying to pick on either. So like the knowledge of her being in Lucha Underground is cool. I might go check that out, right?
Yeah.
But
the inverse of what I said isn't true. Also, like, just because you have a bunch of knowledge doesn't make you a dork. That's what I was trying to say. Like, I can be impressed if you have a bunch of knowledge and you want to share it with me. Great, but
right. But like, I could also tell you, like, if I say, hey, who's this Ty Valkyrie? Right? Like, what the fuck? Who's that? And you go, oh, geez, and then kind of give me that pro wrestling nerd attitude that we all know what I'm talking about, where it's like, oh God, do you even know anything? Well, I can go, hey, motherfucker, Dan the Dad is 0-4 in AEW Dark. Did you fucking know that? Because that's what I watch. God damn it. Like, we could do this fucking tit for tat thing all fucking day. And so it's like,
oh, you watch March Madness? Tell me who was in the Sweet 16 last year, right? Like,
and it's it's like, just shut up. Now, there's certain levels too, right? There is a certain level when you go like, who's this MJF? And it's like, brother, you've been watching fucking AEW for a year. You should know who MJF is by now. Like, there's difference, but like, to know everything everywhere that, hey, you know who the Iowa State wrestling champion is? Oh, you don't? Oh, you fucking idiot. Hey, did you know that the Boston wrestling champion dropped the title and is going down to North Carolina? Fuck you. Get to TV. Like, that's where I'm at. You know what I mean? Go to the real fucking wrestling. But that's why I got aggravated when people were like, oh, you don't know who it is? And I'm like, say it to my face. I will choke you the fuck out. But anyway.
You can meet me tomorrow, William Crispin High School in Independence, or Wednesday, Tuesday, whatever it is.
Yeah. Right here, I'll put 5 across your lip. Okay, so then Ty Valkyrie gets in there. She squares up with Jade. Jade's like, bitch, walks off. And Layla Gray's like, I'm walking off too.
I will say this. It did look like a comparable sized athlete. Right? We did get at least that. We haven't got that with Jade Cargill. She always looks like she's an action figure next to like an army man, you know?
Oh yeah, you don't say she's an action figure.
Yeah,
there
right?
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also I'm taking fucking Jade if you were saying this is a real fight. But Tay grabs Layla Gray and does the finisher, which I found out because I didn't fucking know. It's the same finisher that Jade Cargill does. They do the same thing. They call it something different, right? I just thought she was like, look at this. I can do your fucking move.
Yeah.
Then I found out that that's her move too. It's the sharpshooter versus the sharpshooter. Which one's going to win?
The thing that struck me as odd about that is all of this was going down. Jade Cargill was like, bitch, don't touch my friend. But the security was holding her back. Why was security holding her back from stopping an assault? Why was security not in there trying to stop The assault. That was a big miss for me, right? It was like,
hey,
if you wanted to create a barrier to how Jade couldn't get to Tyra, you could do something else, right? But like that doesn't make sense. They were protecting an assault happening. That was a sanctioned assault on the hands of AEW. Whoever's leading the security, Tyra Valkyrie's got security on her side.
Right? Hey, she's getting the push. I tell you what.
Yeah. Jeffrey Sills says Tom wants to give wedgies to the IWC, and I think that's true. Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
A couple swirlies.
God. Look, I used to be a bully in high school, and I don't run away from that fact. I'm not like proud of it, but I'm also not going to tell you, oh, these bullies, I was them. I fucking did that. It's fucking fun. And so like, yeah, I would totally fucking do that. And look, you can say whatever you want, bad person. I know, but when you fucking really shove someone into a locker and their backpack like goes into their chin and now their head is in this weird position that they can't really breathe that well, and you're just laughing at them, that's fun. I don't give a fuck what you say.
You can call me a bad person, but you're just going to get a wedgie for your trouble. So
yeah,
that's fun. If you're willing to play that game, I got it for a couple hours, brother.
Oh my God.
I'm not watching any independent wrestling, so I got the fucking time. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of, this just went into my memory bank going back to William Chrisman. It was actually St. Patrick's Day. Me and my friends skipped school, side quest here. Me and my friends skipped school, and we decided that we were going to get in my, well, yeah, fuck it. Who cares? Yeah. School's stupid. Yeah. Don't stay in school. It's fucking dumb. It's a waste of time. At least high school. Go to college or trade school. But anyhow, me and my friends decided to skip school. And one of our friends, his girlfriend had a Jeep with like the doors you could take off, you know? So we're like, we're fucking everyone up today. We filled like 200 water balloons up. Yes. We put mustard in some of them. We put ketchup in some of them. We put water in some of them. And we went to every fucking high school. We went to St. Mary's. Fuck you. We went to fucking Truman. Fuck you. And then we were like, we still got a lot of these water balloons. So we went to our own school. Like, fuck you, right? And then there was one kid. I'll never forget it. We called him Karate Kid because he always wore a fucking headband with like a Japanese flag on it, right? And he was white. So we were like, hey, Karate Kid, you know? And he was a fucking dickhead. He was a dickhead. Like a prime dick. No one liked him. Mm-hmm. No one liked him. Mm-hmm. Many people said no one liked him. And I was like, guess what I'm fucking doing? So I pissed in one of them. Whoop, there you go. And I just fucking boom. And I hit him with 10 of them because he rode his bike home. And I was like, boom, I knocked him off his bike. Fucking felt great.
Statute of limitations is passed on.
I hope not. Come at me, Karate Kid. Fuck you up. No, I was bad. Don't do that. But it was fun. So IWC, come on.
Don't do that, but it was fun.
It was fun.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah. Look, you're going to have to deal with the consequences, which I did. But it was also fun.
You got to make your own choices in life and live with them.
Yeah.
But this one was fun at the time.
Yeah. Hey, it's a free country, but there are consequences. So do whatever the fuck you want. Anyhow, let's get back to AEW Dynamite. So we go backstage and it's absolute Ricky Starks. And he says he's glad Juice Robinson's jealous of him. And that he's earned this attention. He beat Jericho. Oh, he's all the best, you know? And he's like, the only thing that Juice did is be a part of the Bullet Club 8 years ago or whatever it is, right? Which is true. I think 2015, right? That's 8 years. Something. And then he says, he alludes to the effect where he's like, stand on your own 2 feet or bring your friends if you want, something like that. And that's where, again, we're alluding to the Bullet Club. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Now, this is a controversial segment. I want your opinion on this. So we go to commercial break. We come back, and it is the debut of QTV. And we get a TMZ style vignette where Cutie Marshall is looking at video and Han Solo or whatever the fuck his name is talking about Batista and all this shit and Wardlow's. What'd you think of this whole thing?
I liked it. I don't know how long this can go. I got to give credit to our biggest fan, Cutie Marshall.
Love you, Cutie.
He probably has the comedic chops to make this go for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here for it. It being, listen, I like the idea of like that group now having somebody a little more like a Hobbs, right? Somebody that wasn't, as we discussed, you can't have like with Stokely, you can't have a stable that are all guys that are dark in elevation, right? It just doesn't really get over the same way, right? So if this is like who Hobbs has lined himself with now because he thinks he needs lackeys, right? Or something like that, then cool. It just wasn't what I thought we were getting, right? I thought we were getting more of the like, I'm kicking down your door to take what's mine because I'm Hobbs and you can't do anything about it. So I think we're maybe taking a little left turn from that. But I liked this QT stuff. I like that they're like, yeah, we stole this fucking belt. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Fuck a statute of limitations on that too.
I liked all of it. I liked QTV. I think it has a fun future, assuming you don't, bury it in the ground and make me see it on every fucking episode of everything you got, right? I will say this, though. I don't know if Powerhouse Hobbs, needs QTV.
Correct.
Because we wanted Powerhouse Hobbs as our TNT champion because fucking Powerhouse Hobbs is cool as shit, and we want to see him throw motherfuckers into the fourth row, right? Like, that's what we wanted. And now it feels like he's the champ, but Cutie is the leader, so Cutie's going to be doing all the talking, and QTV is going to be the angle that just is associated with the TNT championship.
Correct. Yeah, I don't think this is doing a lot of favors for the Powerhouse Hobbs aspect of it, but I do like the QTV presentation.
Yeah. If I had the pin, as I do in my hand here, if you're watching the YouTube stream, I think the way I would have done this is not have Hobbs associated with QTV, but still have QTV doing the like, we stole his fucking belt. He's a nerd. It's Wardlow. He got his hair cut by Samoa Joe. Dork, and like all of that. And Hobbs is just like, hey, thanks, but like, I don't know you. Like, see ya,
Jeffrey Sill says QD is looking like he's been hitting the plates because those shirts are getting smaller. And let me tell you something. QD, when Quick Trip Marsupio goes to the gym, the plates lift themselves. That's how impressive QT is.
You ain't lying. Preach. I'll tell you that much. Come on now. All right. Now we get back into the ring and we get our first ever AEW International Championship match. Champion, because they just gave it to him because they Shazammed it from the Atlantic Championship to this. Orange
I like
Cassidy.
the transition he did.
Yeah, Shazam. There it is. Look at this. Cool. I don't know. But did we talk about this last week? Shazam. Yeah. Isn't that the Shaq movie?
I think that's Kazam.
Okay. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway,
Kazam.
Regardless. All right. But he takes on challenger Grandpa Jeff Jarrett. And this match scared the shit out of me, Tim. I was legit scared that we were going to do Jeff Jarrett as our fucking champion here.
Me too, because I thought that would be prime Jeff Jarrett to be running around the world defending this thing too. I thought for many a times I was like, oh no. Good 2 or 3 times I remember going like, oh no, I can't look. And thankfully, Orange Cassidy held strong. I liked his transition where he comes down with the bag. They've got the new belt out there, so he just takes it, throws it in the bag, and throws the old one out. And he's like, all right, and then he just runs in the ring and then pulls it right back.
Hey, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I liked it.
Yeah, I thought when Jay Lethal took the Golden Globe to Orange Cassidy's head, that was it. And I tell you what, the international title or international championship is the wet dream for Jeff Jarrett. For him to go to every fucking promotion with a belt around his waist or on his shoulder, do matches with local guys that he has to win against is just like prime Global Force gold. Remember that fucking scam? So I thought it was going to happen. Luckily it didn't. Now, what does that mean going forward? I don't know. We'll see. All right. Then we get a little hype reel for House of Black, which is all fun. Woo, cool. Then we come back and we get a new music video from the Acclaimed right here. You know what I'm saying? A little of this right here.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good. I will say, and I'll let you share your opinion here in just a second, but like it wasn't geared at anyone, so it didn't really hit. It was just, we're the best, we're the people's champs. We're going to get those titles again. It's like, okay. What did you think? How did you feel about this?
I thought the same thing. I was like, where just like, I was like, oh, this felt like therapy time with the Acclaimed. It was hey, we're not dead yet, right? Like we're down, but we're not out, which is fine, right? That's the statement you need to make right now. That's fine. Real quick, going back to Jeffrey Sills, he said that last match was fun as fuck. He said, since being with AEW, Double J has been awesome. They lay all his matches out just like this. Tony Khan is threatening the fans with Double J as champ, and I like it. Now, that's kind of fun. But back to this here. Yeah, the Acclaimed, I just don't know. I thought we were going to have a longer run with the Acclaimed as the champions, so I thought when they lost it, I thought they would be getting it back quickly. So I don't know where we go next with it. I'm worried that if we don't do something big with them, we will be forced with something they mentioned in this video where we need to find a new slogan or whatever. You're going to probably have to then, because it just won't, it's going to kind of fizzle out instead of, you know what I mean? Burning out, if you will.
Yeah, they're in a weird spot because going out of that pay-per-view tag team championship match, they didn't have a team to pair with, right? It wasn't as if, oh, well, we would have won if fill in the blank didn't cost us that match.
The
and
Butcher
that's
and
why
the Blade didn't.
Yeah, the best friends came down and they got in our way. Something. It was just they lost. They didn't get the pin, right? They didn't take the pinfall, but they lost. And now they're in no man's land. Now it's, you better have a fucking fire rap the next time you come out to get our attention again or something, because if you don't, I don't know what you do, because that's tough, right? So interesting spot. I'm very intrigued from a non-storyline, just from a high-level overview of what AEW is, where the Acclaim go from here. Because in my opinion, you gotta go back heel. Hey guys, and Kansas City has great barbecue. Like, don't fucking say that shit next week. Talk shit on Mahomes. Say Travis Kelce sucked on SNL. Like, fucking make me hate you again. I like that shit. Like, that's where you need to get
that's
the
what
heat.
endeared us to you in the beginning.
Well, and if you don't have anyone to talk about, right? If you don't have the best friends or Butcher and the Blade, someone like that, then talk shit on the fans, right? Because you always got them. They're going to be there, assuming they sold tickets, right? And so, like, talk shit on them to get your heat back, and then you can go like, but we're baby faces. Hey, something
Jeffrey
like that.
Sills in the chat, which again, everybody should join in the chat. Tell us your thoughts as we do this live. He says, it was just an appreciation track to the fans for supporting them. They are AEW's New Day. And, yeah, okay.
Well, so here's the thing.
That can have positives and negatives, but.
Yeah, what year are we talking? Are we talking 2023 New Day? Because I don't like them.
Speaking of the chat, if you can't chat with us live, you can always use hashtag tweet the table. And I feel like an ass right now, Tom. I feel like an ass because I forgot to mention tweet the table when it was appropriate when we were talking about QTV, Powerhouse Hobbs. So I'm going to bring that up because it's the one we got. So I don't want to leave the one that we got hanging because that would be uncouth, right?
Yes,
so it is from @JustinFloor. He says, Powerhouse Hobbs with Taz greater than Powerhouse Hobbs with QT, hashtag tweet the table. And I don't
1,000,000% agree.
I mean, yes, depending on what you're trying to tell, right? If you're trying to tell the story of Powerhouse Hobbs is Powerhouse Hobbs, then yes, Taz is the guy, Team Taz is the thing you want to do, right? If we're going a different way with that, I could see potentially where Powerhouse Hobbs gets in a better storyline or spot on the card, maybe, with QT Marshall in tow.
I think I agree with Justin for this reason. When it's Taz, now not Team Taz, just Taz. Taz and Powerhouse Hobbs.
Okay.
Taz and Powerhouse Hobbs. Powerhouse Hobbs is the focal point. We are drawing all our attention to Powerhouse Hobbs. Taz is saying, look at that fucking guy. Look at that fucking guy, right? When it's this QTV, and the kind of the feeling I had after the segment was, it's QT Marshall. You want to fuck with me? Powerhouse Hobbs, get here. And then Powerhouse Hobbs stands in the way, and it's like, well, that's Wardlow, right? Like we've done that before. That's Jake Hager. That's Big Bill. So I agree with you. We're like, we could get some really interesting stories, right? Especially if it's TMZ style and we're getting peeks behind the curtain. Like, what was that back in the day in WWE? GTV? Yeah. Remember when Big Show was pissing on Al Snow or whatever it was, If we want to do that stuff, it will elevate him more than just Taz is talking about the monster. But I think he gets lost in the shuffle in that way. So, yeah, it's a double-edged sword where it's like, You want to be the focal point? Awesome.
Right now,
you're on elevation.
Right now, I would say greater than or equal to.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see. But
yeah,
right off the jump, I would say the presentation of who Powerhouse Hobbs is, I would prefer Team Taz.
Yeah,
but
I'm a little interested. We're going this way, but we discussed that already. Back to the chronological order of AEW Dynamite. While you're doing that, while you're listening, if you want to take a break, or while you're listening along, you can go to Pro Wrestling Tees, search for Spanish Announce Table, and pick up a shirt. Or you can always just give us some money. You can donate us some money. We have a Cash App, Spanish Announce Table. You can go to SpanishAnnounceTable.net and click the donate button to our PayPal donate links. You can just give us some money.
Side quest. I will say this about the t-shirt. If you don't like us, I get it. A lot of people don't like me.
We totally get it if you don't like us.
Yeah, we totally get it. But like, I will tell you this. For as many times as Tim and I have worn that shirt in public, we at least get 2 to 5 comments. Oh, that's a cool shirt. What is that? That's a cool shirt. So if you're one of the people like me, where I don't necessarily do the best walking up and talking to someone, that's why I use my clothing for someone to come talk to me. And I'm like, hey, yeah, fuck you. Come to me. There you go. The shirt's going to fucking draw attention. So if you like that shit, I'm going to say, get the t-shirt, because people will say, that's a cool.
You're wearing one of the old designs that we don't have.
Old designs, come on.
Anymore. Yeah. Sweatshirt.
Come on. It's warm too.
If somebody has some unique asks, there's ways we can get some other stuff. If you got some ideas, send them my way, and maybe I can make something happen for the right, amount and the shipping and handling and whatnot. But perhaps some way, some stores that we no longer may put up on the website might still be active that I might be able to squeeze something out of. We'll do that for special fans if you got a special request. Tableshow@gmail.com.
Come on with it. All right. So let's get back to it. After the Acclaim music video, the Outcasts come out.
The Outcasts.
Not the Outsiders.
The Outsiders. The Outcasts.
The Outcasts. And
with DX green spray paint.
Yeah. And look, I will give them this is yes, Outcast, Outsiders, green spray paint. That's DX. But the saving grace so far is they ain't lying, right? So Toni Storm gets on the mic here and she's like, this fucking company called me an interim champion, a fucking interim champion. And then when I go up against your favorite girl right now, Jamie Hayter, that bitch cheats and you cheered it. So fuck you. And it's like, yep, totally understand why you don't like us right now. That is 1,000,000% on point. So for as much as the, frivolous kind of details of this story goes, it's not great, but the heart, the like meat and potatoes of what we're telling is spot on. I think Ruby Soho did a great job telling her story of like, you cheered me when I lost to Britt Baker. You booed me when I beat Chris Statlander, and then Toni Storm talking about interim champ and all of that. It's like, I totally understand their motivation.
I like this promo strictly for, we have 2 new sound clips that we get to use for the next year and a half, probably, right?
Easy.
We got Saraya. She said she got fined for this one.
I don't expect anything less from a bunch of neckbeard stinky twats.
Which is just so fun. Anytime somebody's giving a shit, these people on Twitter mad at you for not knowing who Tyra Valkyrie is, you just hit them with
I don't expect anything less from a bunch of neckbeard stinky twats.
So we're going to use that for at least the next 3 years here. But you were wrong about Toni Storm grabbing the mic and saying what she said, because she started it with this golden nugget right here.
Listen up, fat people.
And I lost it. I was laughing in my corner of the room, watching it on my phone, and I rewinded it. I was like, that's great. I love that.
That is. And that's good, right?
Fat people.
Yeah. We are. We're fat, most of us,
Just the brevity of it all. It wasn't like you fat, out of shape, Canadian sweat hogs. And it was just this.
Listen up, fat people.
It was said in a way that wasn't meant to be insulting, but just a matter of fact.
Right. It was like, hey, all you fat people.
Fat people. And everyone kind of went like everyone looked around.
She's talking about us.
Talking about us. Yeah. So they come out, and again, like I said, they're telling their story of why they don't fucking like AEW and their homegrown women's division. And again, it's spot on. Everything is checking out. Then we get, how does this happen here? They're going through and then Team DMD run through. So in their Canadian tuxedos, all denim here.
They
Britt
were
Baker,
in their full Canadian tuxedos.
They were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
Here
catch
comes
that.
Britt
That's
Baker
good.
and Jamie. I think they did it on purpose, which is a great touch. Like,
Yeah.
good for you. And they come down and they're trying to fight these three women. And the three women, 3-on-2, they have the advantage. So then they take on Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, and they win the advantage because, again, numbers. And what happens here? Oh, they go to do the spray paint again. And then here comes Rio, Sky Blue. And then this is the best episode of Dynamite because we got Willow Nightingale.
Yeah. I like this, and Jeffrey Sills in the chat echoes something that I think I kind of felt too. He says, regular Rio, not a fan. Lead pipe Rio, super mark for her. Like, yes, that's what Rio needs to be. You know what I mean? Like a weapon toting. That's great. Yeah, I think this is. I think we're getting this. We're going to blood and guts, right? Is where we're going with this. Yeah.
I have a question for the audience, for the listening audience, for the YouTube chat, whoever. Where's Hikaru Shida? Wasn't she the crux of this whole fucking thing when Saraya says, I have
maybe Rio's the fill-in because Shida had something else to do?
I don't know.
What
do you think? Or is she going to be the one?
Yeah. Ooh, she could be the one.
She could be the one that turns. I don't think that's as good.
Because they've got 5, so the Outcast got to pick up 2 more, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of wild speculation on the internets these days about who that is, of course, but time will tell.
Oh God, are you saying the person who's going to be at Comic-Con this weekend with Kevin Nash?
Nope. No, a lot of people were discussing the name change of the Bella Twins this week. The Bella Twins announced they are not the Bella Twins now. They are the Garcia Twins. They have left WWE to pursue their other things. They were like, hi, I'm Nikki Garcia, and yeah, I'm Brie Garcia. And we know they got into a little bit of a tiff over like the latest Raw 40, whatever the fuck they did, where they were like, hey, you didn't talk about any women. The fuck you know what I mean? And they were like, fuck, you know? So could we get on the Outcasts come out the Garcia Twins? And of course, you still have, you know, Miss Monet out there skirting around, and then Naomi could, you know, so those two are being speculated. And again, this is all under the speculation that we're going to get this 5-on-5 battle for blood and guts, which I do feel like that's where we're going. But
yes, I feel like even if it's not blood and guts, it's some type of gang warfare, right?
Bragging
whatever
rights.
that match, bragging rights, whatever that match will be, right?
Yeah.
So really, Nikki and Brie said we're done with WWE.
Yeah,
what talent do they have to do anything else?
They did a tweet saying they didn't even really address. They just did a tweet. They were like, "Hi, I'm Nikki Garcia. This is my sister Brie Garcia. We'd like to introduce you to ourselves. We're the Garcia Twins, and we're starting our new chapter."
Of what?
You know, they do to whatever credit. You know, we can say they got put on this platform to do it because of wrestling and WWE, but they now have business ventures that they do. You know, because that's what happens when you're rich and you have access to capital. Is you start, you know, turning it into other capital, you know, club. You're not in it.
What are they?
But
they got a podcast probably.
Oh, they do all the live, fucking, you know, live Instagramming live things and all that shit.
Because one of them married and has a baby with the Dancing with the Stars guy, right?
Yeah, Nikki, because Bree's married to Bryan Danielson.
Right. Yeah.
Now, he has to go home. That's where I would like, well, the whole in the story of him going home because he's putting his family, you know, or he's putting wrestling after his family, kind of falls apart if his wife just shows up and starts being like, I'm going to kick some ass.
Yeah. Like,
I'm ready to punch a bitch's teeth out.
I was looking for the girls and I couldn't find you. Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah, they are talentless hacks. That's going to be interesting what they do. They have no talent. They can't even do wrestling that well. I will argue that till my dying day. They were never good at anything. Anyway, we go to break, And we come back, and 2.0 cuts a promo, and they said, hey, we love that rap music. We're rap fans.
Yeah.
Kind of sound entertaining.
Yeah.
And then how about on Friday? Well, we show you what entertainers do. You guys have been denying us, and we don't like it. So we're going to show you what we're about. What do you think happens here?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how this ends here, but I love 2.0. So anytime I can get them on my TV, I'm happier, right? Daddy Magic makes my nipples hard. I put that on the internet. I put that on the internet.
Yeah.
I said that out loud to viewers.
Go sign it. It'll get millions.
Hey, it's 2023, right? Don't judge me. Consenting adults.
Exactly. After that, we get Ray Phoenix cuts a quick promo, and he says, hey, Will Hobbs, you have an open challenge. I'm going to kick your ass. And that seems fun. Ray Phoenix does the best kind of lucha I like, where it's a little bit of hold handing, but it's a lot of, I'll just run the ropes by myself and kick you in the face. And it's like, I like that. That's fun. So him with Powerhouse Hobbs, who says, you know, my favorite thing to do is break your fucking back.
Throw a motherfucker.
I like that. That's going to be fun on Friday night.
Yeah, and he's going to get thrown.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
Oh.
And again,
he's going to be like a rising phoenix getting thrown into the sun.
Ooh. Too. Oh, come on.
Yeah, look at that.
You better feed that line to Excalibur. Come on now.
Yeah.
All right, and now, sorry, we have our main event.
The main event.
House of Black, Brody King, Buddy Matthews, Malachi Black, champions, taking on the Jericho Appreciation Society, Chris Jericho, Daniel Garcia, Sammy Guevara, taking on the Elite, Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson. The AEW Trios Championship is on the line, and holy fuck, do they fit 10 pounds of awesomeness in a 5-pound bucket, because they did a lot of shit here.
Something that stuck out to me in this match, and it's about it being a trios match. I kind of stumbled upon something that I don't think I'd ever really, batted around in my brain here. With tag teams, we've seen various styles of tag teams, right? Oftentimes, I think the most successful tag teams are the guys are a similar look, right? They, and I'm not even just talking gear, but like they kind of at least have similar build, whatever, right? It looks more matchy. We have seen some tag teams where one guy's a big bastard and another guy's a small guy. I don't feel like those over time work as well as the tag teams where people are more, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Same, right?
Yeah.
You're complimentary, right? With the trios, this feels more right where like Brody King is like the center on the basketball team, March Madness on the brain, and he gets in and nobody's getting to the rim, right? Like he's the equalizer, and then the other two guys come in and start doing their thing. So I think that's more fun with the trios, and I do think they kind of hit it here at the end after this match. There's a bit of a focus now on this trios division. It feels
so
like.
that's where I want to go first. Is it definitely feels like we've said, hey, tag team division, let's just put pause on you for a quick second. We're going to go to this trios thing and build up all the fucking trios we can think of. Blackpool Combat Club, Dark Order, Jericho, Elite, the House of Black, Best Friends in Orange Cassidy. Like we're getting every fucking team we can think of. And that's going to be the focal point of AEW, which
Tim, Tom, and Eddie Kingston, right? Like just
oh my God.
Trios.
I would fight with Eddie Kingston till my dying breath. Just me and him.
Which might be quick.
But just putting our backs to the wall and just fucking throwing it like we're Lee Murray. Look that up if you want to. Google Lee Murray and you'll know what I'm talking about. Lee Murray, Tito Ortiz. Look that up. It's a great story. And I fucking head. Oh, that'd be so great. And we'd just be yelling cuss words the entire time.
Yeah, all of it. You fucking son of a fucking
bitches.
Fucking son of
you fucking jerk.
Fucking son of a fucking mother. How's your father?
So here's what I'll say though. So that's what I agree with you. There seems to be a main focus on trios, right?
Well, and my point about that is like I think we can get these unique, I don't want to call them pairings because there's triplings. That's where I think this can get a little more interesting even.
Well, and here's where I think it's interesting is look, WWE does tag teams, right? Impact does tag teams. make your gimmick like it was with TNA back in the day as the X division. Make your thing the trios. Like, we have tags, that's cool, but we're really the trios company where that's
I
where
love
you
that.
make your
That
name.
can make you stick out. Yeah, that's your TNA X division, if you will, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Jeffrey Sills brought up here in the chat where if Eddie Kingston is not available, we can have a different third man.
Oh my God.
Of
Yeah.
Nick fucking Gage. Man, I wish I would have brought my pizza cutter with me.
Oh my God.
Because I like that fucking energy Nick Gage is.
I love your fucking energy. I love your fucking energy. God, that was the coolest moment of my life. Oh man, I've never been. Oh,
I thought you guys were gonna make out or go rob a bank together. One of the two things was gonna happen. Maybe both. I don't know.
Yeah, I would have said yes to either. I don't.
What are you gonna tell him? No. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Just take me in your arms. I don't care what you do. Whatever you want. Yeah, Nick fucking Gage.
You were like, you're so fucking cool.
Yeah, he was. Oh, yeah. Fucker. Yeah.
I love how we conned our way to being first in line and then not really having to pay for the. Yes. Yeah. We were like, look, all we got is $20. And he was like, it's supposed to be like 80. And he's like, all right, fucking just give it to me. Hurry up. Let's go. We got a line. Let's go. All
right. Yeah. Loved it.
Yes.
The one thing, though, that I will say, going back to this match, the one thing that I will say about this match that is a little bit difficult, if you want it to be your thing, I think that's important. I think that's really cool. However, you got to have the announcers or the ref signal who the fucking legal person is, because there's a lot of like, so why are they beating up on Guevara? I thought it was Garcia. Okay, so now we're beating up on Nick Jackson, but I thought it was Brody King. Like, it was
rules
like
seem a little more loose, which is already a bit of a knock on people from the outside of AEW fandom. And where they say like, hey man, the rules are pretty loose there, right? In match.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily don't like that. Like, that's fine. Again, it's pro wrestling, right? There's undead wizards. Like, make it be whatever the fuck you want. I'm just saying, give me some focus. Like, because I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm like, so, that's just, now he's pinning them? Oh, why? He's not counting? Okay. But now he's pinning them. Now they are like, that's where I just need to be told, like, this shit moves quick for me, man. I'm not on that TikTok and all that bullshit. Like, I need to be fucking told what to do. Sometimes.
Follow us on TikTok while you still can, while it's still legal here in the United States. We're at Spanish Announce Table. Maybe, I don't know, another week or so.
Why? What's up?
Oh, they're trying to ban it. They're trying to ban TikTok in the United States. The Congress is
who's
passing
they?
that. Congress. They told TikTok to like the Chinese investors that own them need to sell their stock or else they're going to ban it in the United States.
Well, they ain't going to do that. Who do they sell to? Oh, Elon Musk, motherfucker.
Like somebody.
Oh, they're going to, I want to be
Zuckerberg.
Cool, guys.
Oh, Zuckerberg led this charge. He's the one lobbying to make this happen.
Well, hey, look, we can get into a bigger conversation. Capitalism kind of sucks, but if you're going to live in capitalism, might as well fucking step on everyone. If you're going to be the king of the hill.
So follow us on TikTok while it's still legal.
There you go. Ooh, that kind of feels dirty. Ooh.
Right. Yeah.
We might send you TikTok stories. Ooh, what's that going to look like?
Yeah. Send you some unsolicited TikToks.
Yeah. That's the name of this episode.
Right. Unsolicited TikToks.
Yes. All right. So basically the gist of this match is Kenny Omega is from Winnipeg and Chris Jericho is from Winnipeg. And isn't that cool? Yeah. And isn't that cool? They're fucking in the ring together. They're teasing this. And Brody King is, like you said, the Patrick Ewing in the middle saying, ain't no one fucking touching this rim, or Akeem Olajuwon. I'm blocking everything that you're trying to put up. And then they see Jericho and Kenny team up, and then they fight each other and team up. And then we get all the craziness. And through kind of strategy, which is kind of cool to actually see, Death Triangle get the victory on Daniel Garcia. Now, that's not where the story stops. What did I say?
You said Death Triangle. There's another trios.
Yeah, there's another trios. Yes, House of Black. I apologize. I mean, kind of the same thing. Oh, they already had a feud. Yeah,
the actual spooky group.
Right. Yeah. House of Black. I apologize. Yes. House of Black gets the victory by doing some strategic moves and counters, and they pick up the victory on Daniel Garcia. But that is not where the story ends, because we get a shot during this match of backstage. It's Johnny Hungy, Reynolds, and Hangman beating up on the Blackpool Combat Club. Credits Excalibur telling us Evil Uno and Stu Grayson are in the fucking hospital. So that's why it's 3-on-3. It should be 5-on-3, but it's not because 2 of them are in the fucking hospital. So we see a backstage fight scene with those guys. And then as this match ends, that spills out to the ring. And we get Blackpool Combat Club and Dark Order and Hangman beating up on each other, all that stuff. And Hangman gets into the ring. And now he's by himself because the Elite, they've rolled out to the outside. JES, they're done. So they roll out to the outside. House of Black won, so they're going up there. So Hangman goes up into the ring, says, like, come on, let's fucking fight in this ring. I feel comfortable here. And then the Blackpool Combat Club goes, oh, yeah, this will be great.
Yeah.
And the 3 of them stand up on the apron.
Yeah, they're licking their chops. Like, they're like, oh, we're going to murder this guy. What?
Yeah. And Hangman's like, I'm going to go out on my shield. I'm going to go out on my cowboy hat.
This is cowboy shit right here. This is what we do.
This is cowboy shit. Unbeknownst to him, though, the Elite come up and say, we got his back. And then this is the coolest part of the whole episode, I thought, is the Elite come up, Blackpool Combat Club goes, ooh, that's 4-on-3. I don't like that. And so they say, maybe later, right?
They're like, all right, bitch.
And Hangman does not know. Like I said, unbeknownst to him, he's like, fight me. Why aren't you fighting me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's kind of like, bitch, what? I'm here. Like, what do we?
Yeah. And then he turns and we go fade to black. That was it. We don't even know what he did. Like, because of camera phones and all that, we know. But like in the show, we don't know if he punched him, hugged him, kissed him, high-fived him. We don't know. We don't, because it went to fade to black.
Right.
I thought that was a great touch. What do you think of all this?
I think I liked that we don't know, albeit I am going to go out on a limb and say, given the track record, I don't think we were supposed to go out like that. I think we were supposed to see a little bit further beyond what happened, and they ran out of time.
Okay.
But neither high nor there, I think it worked, right? I don't think it ruined anything. If they would have like started beating his ass, then we would have missed out on the thing. But I don't think that's where we're going. And like Jeffrey Sills says in the chat here, he says,
listen up, fat people.
He says, everyone talking about the bloodline, the best story in forever. Talking about the bloodline like it's the best story in forever. They must have forgot about Hangman and the Elite. I'm so amped up. And yes, I am so amped up to see us revisit this. I love the Hangman, right? I love this cowboy shit. I love his storyline that we've been getting, and I'm interested to see what the next chapter is here with this sort of, because last we left him, it was like all right, we've been fucking battling you, but like, we get it. We're proud of you. We're just going to go fucking do our thing, and we're not friends, but we're just, you know what I mean? We're going to go do our thing.
Well, let me stop you there. That was not the Elite who said that.
Yeah, well, that was right.
That was just the Young Bucks.
Correct.
We still have this, old term here, hanging Chad of Kenny Omega lost his fucking championship to the Hangman.
And we still have guys like Don Callis hanging around, right? Who would be like, hey, no, fuck that guy, Kenny. Like,
and go back to last week when Kenny Omega was going to cut a promo on Chris Jericho and Don Callis takes the mic away from him and is like, hey, I'll talk for you. Don't worry about this shit. So, and again, they love the details of their story, which makes it really fun for us. They pay it off for longtime viewers of this storyline. Because the thing that I thought of instantly, 2 things. One, well, Kenny Omega is not the old Kenny Omega that Hangman took out. So what will his whole position be on this? Because again, he lost his championship to him. It wasn't just a match. He lost the championship, right? The second thing is we've still never addressed when Kenny Omega did his backstage promo where he's like, I got to get surgery. Hey, everyone, Young Bucks got it. And Adam Cole's like, no, I got it. We're good. Like, I got it. And Kenny Omega was not aware of the Young Bucks giving the old nod to Hangman to give him the buckshot lariat. So does that come back into the story and say, like,
I hope it all does.
And that's what I'm saying. If Kenny Omega goes, wait a minute, Don Callis just showed me the fucking video at the end when I lost to Hangman.
Yeah.
What were you guys doing?
I think this would be a great story for all of that to play out, to buy time for the Hangman, to keep him in this main event level where he's like a premier story on the show, but it doesn't have to be going after a title, right? So now we can still have like MJF doing his MJF things, and we don't have to kind of have that like who's in the pecking order, right? Kind of a thing. Because I think that's some of your stories going on here, right? Is MJF just being your worst person imaginable in the entire AEW world, and then you've got Hangman being, you know what I mean? We all want him to see the potential we see in him, but he doesn't, right?
Look, I know earlier we started this recap talking about the 4 pillars, and I would like to bring to everyone's attention that Hangman is only 31. Okay?
Yeah.
We're talking about pillars.
I would swap out Guevara for Hangman every time.
1,000,000%. That is a pillar. Hangman was in the first main event. I mean, we can go through his laundry list of accolades, but he is a fucking pillar. So that's here nor there.
He's been some of the best stories they've had over the years. Like,
he's been the best story.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Yeah.
Cowboy shit, right?
Cowboy shit.
So this is what I wrote down, and I wanted to get your feedback on this. So, as we left the episode, Hangman turns around, fuck's the Elite doing? So now we've got skeletons in our closet. We've got hard conversations to have, right? What does that all look like? Right now, we don't fucking know, but that's awesome. Well, let's look on the other side of that. On the other side of the apron was the Blackpool Combat Club. And what do you see with them? You see that they're outnumbered. That's 4-on-3. Well, as we mentioned earlier, what are you doing with Bryan Danielson? And is this the story where Blackpool Combat Club pull him out of the dumps and says, hey, did you forget you're the fucking best in the world? And we get a Rocky IV montage of this motherfucker carrying trees on his back and punching women in the face. And he's like, I'm a man, you know, like, is that what happened?
He's a man.
But like, that's the interesting part on the other side of the apron is we have this 4th member of the Blackpool Combat Club who's crying in his beer that he doesn't know what to do next. So
because it all fits with the canon and the storytelling here, it would be cool if we could get Regal Lone back or him telling Danielson how to be a man. Like just give me a couple weeks of him doing the woodsman training out there in Aberdeen, Washington that he needs.
That would be perfect.
Right?
That would be
flannels. Let's get it.
But just think of the dichotomy. It's so fucking cool because, again, I'm going off on all these tangents, but this is how excited I am about this storyline. Because, like Jeffrey Still says, this is awesome, right? But go back to the original Elite implosion, right? It was Hangman who was, I don't know, are you guys really my friend? I don't know, me. Now you go to Blackpool Combat Club, and that's Danielson.
Well, but what's also happening with the Hangman and the Elite is we can revisit that, right? Where he's like, are you guys really my friends? Are we really, you guys are friends, not me, right? And they were like, well, then fuck you, then we're not friends. The whole time that was happening, his current friends who are still there by his side and have been ride or die have been like, we're your friends, man. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's right. We're kind of like friends. And it's like, Hangman, you can't, for as much as we love you, you've got some flaws, pal, that like you can't see what the folks that love you right in front of you.
It's the pretty ex-girlfriend, right? It's the toxic pretty ex-girlfriend where you're like, I get it, guys, but like, I think this time we're really in love. And everyone's like, no, you're fucking not. She burnt down your house last time. Like, get away from her. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. And I really appreciate it. Like, I really value your opinion. It just
gets me more.
But we got dinner plans tonight. And like, I mean, come on. I really got to follow through on that. And you're like, God damn it.
I feel like I've been here before. I distinctly remember telling a friend, I was like, hey, listen, I'm going to go eat dinner tonight with somebody. And they were like, Jesus Christ. And I was like, what? And they were like, don't. And I'm like, no, I didn't even tell you who. And they're like, you didn't fucking have to.
we know. Your tone said it all. And yeah, so where does the Dark Order come in this? Because now do they flip the script and say, hey, fuck you then, pal. It's either us or them. And if you choose them, we're going to really be the Dark Order. You're going to really see a Dark Order side that you may not want to see. And then what do they do with the Black Order? What if oh my God, think of this. This is getting fun, right? This is where it's all speculation. Fast forward if you want, but like, I think this is the funnest part of Spanish Announce Table. Just think of this. What if the Blackpool Combat Club just kind of whisper in the Dark Order's ear, and it's like, hey, you know why we were kicking your ass the entire time? We see potential. I think you guys need to come the Blackpool Combat Club way. And then Johnny Hunky's like, I do got big arms.
If you learn the combat way, you could bring some real order to the darkness, right? Like just kind of, hey, you guys, that's the missing piece.
Yeah,
like, that's why if they start gaslighting people to their side by just saying like just anybody, right? They could do this with Dark Order, and then another storyline where they gaslight people and to be like, no, remember, like we're the guys who are trying to like train the youth because we see potential in you, and they're using them against another opponent and breaking friendships apart by gaslighting people. That would be fucking great.
Yeah, because if they become the wedge in between Hangman and Dark Order, and then Hangman just by process of elimination has to go with the Elite, and then we got Kenny Omega saying like, you ain't with us.
Turns on that, yeah. And he's left again in no man's land.
And then go back to the All Out pay-per-view that we were at for the inaugural Trios Championship. And what was it? It was Hangman screwed up, hit the buckshot on John Silver. The Young Bucks hold him and watch Kenny Omega pin John Silver for the Elite to become the first ever Trios champions. We got to revisit that shit too.
Yeah, we were there. Floor seats.
Floor
seats.
Man, I just don't you just want to play some music? Just play some music and make your brain go everywhere.
I love how we ended this because it just felt like it was that cliffhanger of what happens next. I'm so excited.
Well, and also the crazy thing is going into this episode, this is where I think AEW storytelling can do really great things. Is this perfect example? Is we go into this episode going like, really guys, like we're fucking doing Hangman and Jon Moxley like still, and by the end of it, we're going Hangman and the Elite fucking versus the Blackpool Combat Club, and everyone's like, hell yeah, brother, and we're like, hell yeah, now we fucking are all in again, like that's fucking genius to do.
You know what else we failed to mention was we got an appearance from the Shockmaster.
This
episode, right? Like, how fun was that? This is another thing about like why I like AEW versus the other side of the fence. There is that guy in the crowd. They would have avoided him as much as possible.
Put him on the other side of the camera. We're not showing you
even
him.
If a wrestler went over and dapped him, they would have not have even sold it at all. They wouldn't have. Well,
if you recall. When The Rock came back during his John Cena thing, he's like, I'm a break character. I was told I can't do this, but here's the Macho Man and Hogan and Undertaker. And it's like, man, really? You're told not to? Well,
there was always stories of they were moving folks. And I'm like, people are there showing you that like they came to your event, they dressed up for it almost like it's Comic-Con. And then this was like, that meant they put a lot of time in the thing. And you're showing the fans that like, no, we don't want that. We want that.
We don't want fun. Inside. We want generic. We want the pandemic where you guys were just faces on a screen. That's what we really would love.
But shout out to the guy playing the Shockmaster. Knew the spot, right? Just casually putting the hand out. Like, it's got to be hard to see in that mask, right? And he's just like, hope this works. Right? Like, and then sure enough.
And I'm not trying to body shame anyone, but let's just be real. To be a fat guy with no shirt on and a vest in Canada,
you got your nips hanging out.
That's got to be tough.
Yeah.
So salute to you for fucking being the Shockmaster all night.
Yeah. Jeffrey Sill says AEW is the fun promotion and we are the fun podcast. So we want you to subscribe, like, share this video with your friend, /S, however many you got. Follow us on TikTok. We'll send you some unsolicited TikToks, as we said. Buy a shirt. Do all the things. If you're in the KC area, meet us in Independence next Wednesday
or Tuesday.
Dynamite, or Tuesday, go to William Chrisman High School and see Tom Dunk on the big show, Satnam Singh, all of them. He's going to stack the Young Bucks like kids in a long trench coat on a cartoon, and he's going to dunk over both of them. It's going to be great. And Tom will talk about it next week because I'll be on vacation right here on the Spanish Announce Table.
The Spanish Announce Table.